I don't know how long this will be. I should probably start by saying hello. It's been my first off day. And I'm never ready for processing and how it feels. I had 2 fundamentally great days in 2 different institutions with new people and a bunch of kids, and I really, really liked it. It was nice, but also hard. And it's one of those environments where I'm really on when I'm there. And that's not a bad thing. But I wasn't ready for the day after effect. Because it's not just a relaxation day for me personally. It is most of the day it's a bit embarrassing because it's normal human, but I don't always normal human. I have postponed showering, which doesn't make sense, but I have done that before. I have only eaten my breakfast things twice today, and I'm considering a 3rd time now. Comfort eating, yes, very much. I have relaxed and I still feel great, but I've also cried. I have panicked about situations that hasn't happened. Like, I don't know, imagining a child getting seriously hurt, but it's not happening. So most people would say, oh, don't think about that. It hasn't even happened. And I want to say, of course, yeah, that's, I don't even know. Like, that's great if you can do that. At a moment there where all of it just crashed. Most of the day I've been just absorbed in YouTube. And then I went to sleep again in my bed. And then I came out, and then I've just been completely, I kind of want to say dropping the ball, but that's not a thing, is it? I have just been offloading and processing the past 2 days, and to be very expected because it's super new and it's in 2 very intense new environments with new everything. For me, I know I am supposed to react this way. It always seems to surprise me a little bit because it always feels like the emotion I feel is disproportionate to what is logically required. Like, it went well. I did great. At least I feel like I did amazing. That's not to be full of myself. I feel really great in that environment, and I feel the kids were happy, and when they weren't, I could do something about it. I could talk to them and find out what was wrong. It just basically the complete opposite of marine engineering studies, which is exactly what I need right now. But yeah, it surprises me basically every time this happens. But I am quicker at noticing why it happens now. I'm 24 and I have always, literally always done it. I know it is delayed processing. Like now, my brain and nervous system is integrating everything that happened. It's also one of the reasons I'm not great at names. It doesn't integrate immediately, especially the first, I actually want to say weeks, because so much is happening at once, and I'm doing it with 2 institutions. I actually don't know what it's called, daycares and kindergartens. I'll make it easy for myself. Yeah, on a great note, I already have work from tomorrow and Friday, and from Tuesday to Friday next week. So basically the rest of this month. And if I'm lucky and the taxes aren't sabotaging me and the wages are kind of what I hope them to be, then I will have a rent. How to translate that thought? I will have earned next month's rent from 2 weeks, which is amazing. But I'm happy I put some money aside because I will obviously need more than the rent alone to live. But I had been in complete panic mode, as you know. You heard me. I had put money aside, so I had at least the next month rent, like June, rent of June, and what's it called, consumption? Like for food and everything, I would at least have that for another month. But some of it will just be a buffer, which feels awesome. I will finally have something tangible in my account. Not just the waiting anymore, which is insane. Like a week ago, I was panicking in this very chair. And today I was panicking for a completely different reason. If you're still following me, I have a feeling that this podcast will just continue and you will just hear of new days and episodes of me panicking for different reasons. That's basically at least that's what it's been so far, but it has really helped me. And for the feedback I've gotten already, I'm happy I did it as well, because it seems to do good things. This is also a way to tell someone who might not know that this can also be how life can look, at least for a while. I think we're all just a bit lost, at least for a good while in our lives. At least it's a tendency I've heard, for wildly different reasons, and we always feel like we're all alone and nobody will ever understand. And I've felt a lot like an alien because it does not feel like anyone else in my vicinity has the same thoughts, has the same awareness, have the same problems. And the usual response I get from other people if I try and share that, not you besties, you know who you are, my family, you are awesome. But other people, we're talking outside the small circle of people who understand, they just respond in a way that just feels disproportionate as well. Like, expected to. I expect them to not understand because most people don't. And I don't know what kind of tangent I'm going off on, but the feeling of, well, how could you give me any advice different than the one you're giving, since you are not living my life? Which is both logical and sometimes irrational, because there's a lot of different experiences that also overlap, which is partly a reason brain's going too fast for my words to compute. And I forgot what I was gonna say. That's gone. As you can see, I'm a bit all over the place, scrambled in my brain. It's clearly occupied with things I don't consciously know, which makes speech and thought translation and vocabulary wildly difficult tasks, including showering and eating different kinds of food and even going to the toilet, which is a very simple thing, but I still find myself, some would probably call it people wouldn't call it that, procrastination, but it doesn't really fit the task, does it? Because you literally just sit down and do your business and then finish the business and leave. But I can't seem to do it, and I've had to for probably an hour or two, I don't know. Instead, I'm talking to you guys. I just remember now that I had this entire tangent that I was talking about, and I had a point. I think if it was important, I'm gonna expand on it another time. And I think I'm just gonna return to what I remember, which is the podcast really helps me. I don't know if it's just active form of regulation, just speaking through it, like when a friend calls you and they just have to drop a bomb, not literally, and then they kind of breathe afterwards and was like, oh my god, I needed that. Yeah, I feel like that's like that for me. I actually wanted to show you my drawings that I also did today, which is also a form of regulation for me. I only have one arm, so it's not easy. Actually, I haven't been drawing for a while. I've been painting, which is also completely new. But today I got some ideas for tattoos that I want to design and probably get in the future. But I'm not planning on getting a tattoo right now. But I drew some ideas for potential designs. I don't know if you can see literally anything, but yeah, here it is. Just a bit of doodles. I'm very bad at keeping it still. That's what he said. Sorry, bestie. I'm sorry. Sometimes you just gotta let the joke out. No, I don't know if you can feel it. I already feel more regulated. And I just hit myself. That was stupid. I need to eat something and drink something, take a shower, and go to bed. Because I need to be at work 8:15 tomorrow. I'm excited, but also dreading it, which doesn't make logical sense to me because I've been there. And yes, sometimes I use ChatGPT to find out if there's anything it can tell me about things that doesn't make sense. I don't take it word for word, I don't take it personally, and I don't let it control my life, but I let myself be curious. It's said some things that make quite a bit of sense about the fact that I had 2 extremely intense days and now only had 1 day for regulation, which is also a bit out of the ordinary because I've been completely off for a couple of months now. So to shift from being very active and socially soothing and attentive and everything daycare and related to children is, and then going off for 1 day and then having to return for 2 days. One, there's the fact that I kind of feel there's an expectation of now that the first shift have been over, there's some learning that I'm supposed to know now. I'm supposed to grab onto some names. I'm supposed to do all this. And I think, yeah, again, like most people would say, I have to take it as it comes. I don't think most environments expect me to be able to do absolutely everything on day 1 or day 2 or the first week. I think it's supposed to be new at least for a month or maybe more. And even then I'm still in the helper position. I'm supposed to be helping. It's not all on my shoulders. But I'm also supposed to learn, which I apparently translate into pressuring myself, because nobody ever tells you. Everybody knows you're supposed to be learning when you go to do anything. You're supposed to be learning along the way, and the process is important and everything, but nobody tells you how fast you're supposed to be learning. What is good enough as a progression ladder? I think even though I haven't had the best experience with the engineering studies, some of the things it did quite well. It had very precise expectations, and okay, not always. Don't come from a bestie. I know some specific assignments or classes are not like that, but in the overall, like, you're supposed to know electricity, blah blah blah. Here I'm in a helper situation, or not a situation, job, in a daycare, in an environment full of children. It's quite a bit of hidden things in my job description that is more or less expected of me, like co-regulation, being attentive, being able to play with the children's, how do I say that? Most children will have some sort of fantasy when they play. Oh, there's zombies here, and I'm supposed to be able to like jump in that and play a bit with them, and then jump to the next one, and be there. And that's all kind of in my job description, but nobody tells me how much. How much, because I am not the sole responsible. That's not what it's called. I'm blabbing. It doesn't matter, but as always, I'm having issues figuring out what is good enough, and that will not change. Well, hopefully it will with time, but it doesn't matter if I'm an engineer, if I'm studying, if I'm in daycare, if I'm in a grocery store, or mowing lawns. Okay, I could probably if I could make a living, I could probably do that. But then again, there's always overextension. Oh, I'm mowing this lawn. I'm also supposed to make sure there's no. Yeah, my brain doesn't work. I'm normally great at making analogies, but no. I'm supposed to go to bed. Why should we? Yeah. It was supposed to be a short update. Turned out to be about what I've been doing lately. About the 20 to 30 minutes. I'm doing great, but there is a lot of new things. And like always, new things are quite difficult for me, even if I like them, which is annoying, but to be expected. I hope to soon feel a bit more secure in terms of schedule. Not that I know which days I will be working or how long, but knowing that I will have something every single week and get at least the rent, which is probably quite low expectations, since I should also get money for food and my cat. So it doesn't really matter. I'm going off another tangent. I had something to say. Title of my biography. Yeah. The thing I wanted to say, I remembered this time. I hope to soon get my computer up, which I have been saying for literally 2 months. Yeah, some things take a lot of time, and I'm having a bit of issues with my internet. I should try again this weekend and see if there's still issues. I was supposed to write to my distributor. I haven't done that. Instead, I bought kitty things. I now have a litter box. I have 5 toys. I have a blanket. I have cat litter. And I have a training with napkins. Like if the kitty will pee everywhere. And I don't get the kitty until July. Yeah, I can't really explain why I did that. Yeah, actually, I'm allowed to bring a toy to the kitty viewing this Saturday. So obviously I had to get some. It's not like I already had a tennis ball, but anyway, thank you for listening to this wildly chaotic journey, which somehow is normal in some sort of way. We are not alone. Also, I really hope that Markiplier and Jacksepticeye gets back to uploading Subnautica 2 episodes, because I need those. That was very specific law of the people who know. Not even law, it was just a little comment. I highly recommend it to watch it if you like the ocean and alien planets and gaming. Well, thank you for being here. I will talk to you another time. Sleep well.